time, I'd like to introduce Clarence Jones with Southside Community Clinic. He's going to talk about a little bit about the clinic, and then he's going to introduce the panel, and he's going to start the panel discussion. Clarence?
Today we have 4 members from our community that are here to talk about issues that are of vital importance for us. We have Dr. Michael Brooks, who is going to be talking about oral health. Michael Chaney, who's going to be speaking on eating healthy. Ms. Helen Jackson Lockett-El, who's going to be speaking about infant mortality. And Ms. LaCresha Payne, who's going to be speaking on mental health.
North Minneapolis is going green. Give us a call and learn what we mean. Where once lie urban blight, now sits luscious garden sites. Gardens without borders, classrooms without walls. Architects of our own destinies, access to food, justice for all. Good day, everybody. My name is Michael Chaney. I'm an activist and an organizer. In the 80s, I was the founder of the Juneteenth celebration in North Minneapolis. In the 90s, I was the founder of the Wendell Phillips Credit Union. And in 2010, when North High came under attack, myself and others, we were part of a group called Afro Eco. And we decided that we couldn't just sit back and watch North High be put out of business, because to kill a school is to kill the heart of any community. So I approached North High. They had a green room that had been fallow here for over 10 years, and approached them with the idea that if I could get young people here in North Minneapolis to start growing vegetables, start growing sweet potatoes, could we utilize the space? They gave me the permission, so in 2010 we started Project Sweetie Pie, and we've been building ever since then, really trying to, as they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. If we can, the way the healthy community is the food that we eat.
Things that I see on a regular basis in someone's mouth that can tell me they're diabetic, that can tell me if they're controlled diabetic, if they're uncontrolled, what are some things I can potentially do to help them control their diabetes, as well as if you have high blood pressure. There are certain symptoms that tend to show in your mouth, and we always want to work from a standpoint of finding a common ground. So if you find something that your patient is willing to discuss and can relate to, that helps to build on that holistic approach to care. So that way, when you're talking to them and you're talking about medications and they say, well, my doctor been going back and forth with whether I should take this or that, and we're trying to get it under control. And I say, well, the last time you had a clinic been 3 years, so we want to get that done, and that might actually reduce your blood glucose levels. And they say, why? I say, because you have bacteria underneath your gums. That bacteria is taking up the sugar from your bloodstream, creating calculus deposits on your teeth. And that sugar is redistributed into your bloodstream at an uncontrolled rate that your insulin and your metformin cannot control. And that's why your A1C levels are out of control. And it starts to build that light bulb effect, and they see as to how their oral health care can impact the overall care.
And I am glad to be a part of this event because it's talking about healthy families, healthy community. And you may hear that I am talking about that my job talks about infant mortality, and you're going, well, what does healthy family have to do with that? But guess what? If we begin to think about our lives as being healthy and having good nutrition, taking care of ourselves, and being healthy all around, that means we have housing, we have all the things that's needed, believe it or not, we will have healthy babies. My job is a community engagement planner from Minnesota Department of Health, and I'm working on African American infant mortality in U.S.-born African American community, specifically in Hennepin County. And believe it or not, we have too many babies are dying before their first birthday. Too many African American babies, and people are not aware of it. And one thing that I'm trying to do is, one, raise their awareness, and also trying to get community input about things that we can do to strengthen the capacity of our community so that we can address that issue.
So what I was going to say is that a lot of people skip over mental health or emotional health, and they really do focus on physical health. So thank you guys for thinking that we are holistic people. So when I think about the heart, I think about two sides of the heart, the physical heart and then the emotional heart. And so when you have a lot of stress or you are never getting rest, that means your mind is never at rest or your body is never at rest, you are more susceptible to having physical heart issues. You have to slow down at some point, and if you are always worrying or you are always in a heightened state, so like fight or flight, if you're always looking around and thinking something's going to happen to you, you're all hyper alert, then your body never gets rest to properly heal for the next day. So yes, emotional health has a lot to do with your physical health. If you've ever noticed when you don't get a lot of sleep, you start getting sick, that's because your body hasn't been able to rest itself and to restart over. If you've ever been in a stressful situation, say you are suffering with grief and loss, if you notice sometimes it takes away your appetite or you physically get sick, your emotional health and emotional management and the way that you view and process the world has a direct impact on how your body functions. Not just like, oh, you know, somebody did me wrong, so I'm angry. I mean, it's really about your everyday life and how you take in information and how you output information. So basic behavior, all of those things matter when it comes to your physical health. And I'll give you an example. If you ever realize when you get really upset, really pay attention to the physical attributes that it displays, physical symptoms. So if somebody cuts you off and you get really angry, your heart starts beating fast, or your cheeks might turn red, or you get a little throb. Anybody get a throb? So your body responds to your emotion, and they have a direct connection to that. So if if you're going to take care of your physical health, be mindful of your emotional and mental health as well.
I think it goes even more broadly than that. It goes beyond being active. You know, I mean, we have increasingly become more and more a sedentary society. You know, we have very limited physical activity. You know, if you're an athlete, but maybe, you know, those young men and women are trained and they're very active. But for the most part, with the advent of television and that we become increasingly, generation after generation, we have become less active. And so start there, then go beyond the fact that, as the doctor alluded to, you know, our sugar intake, our salt intake, even in the preparation of our food, high fat content, high sugar content. And so one of the things that we've found in the working with young people, that oftentimes it's contrary, that instead of the adults teaching the young people are teaching their parents. And with this whole now movement from farm to school and healthier diets, strange enough as it is, even if you go to the hospitals, you know, the hospital food is horrendous. High in fat, high in sugar. And so even doctors and nurses, you know, we've become more and more aware. When people ask what Project Sweet Pie says, by and large, we are an awareness campaign. You know, we have to change our lifestyles. We have to really look and really take a much more healthy, wholesome look, holistic look in terms of the way that we act and live and so it really comes down to changing of lifestyle, changing of what you eat, how much you eat, how you prepare your food, what are the ingredients in the food, and so it's just really a much more conscientious way about really knowing that we are what we eat. So yes, you know, there's all kinds of, you know, cayennes and all kinds of fruits and vegetables. You know, if you stick to the roots, you know, eat your fruits.
A lot of times, on the fine print of your medical insurance, and I guarantee there's a lot of us in here that have insurance that may not even know this, preventative dental care is covered underneath your medical insurance. Now, when I say that, I have to say that with a grain of salt, because we now know that a lot of things when you go in and get them x-rays and that cleaning done, all the problems that are discovered will not be covered afterwards.
Yep.
So then that brings more stress. So then you down in Ms. Payne's office, or you out in the field with Mr. Chaney working even harder because you have the stress of that new burden. But at North Point, we had the fortune that we operate underneath the sliding fee scale, and we will not turn away anyone for an inability to pay. Everyone is treated, no matter what the circumstances are. We take care of you. And that's part of the mission of North Point. But the key is understanding what you have access to. I believe it is your right as a human being to have access to not just oral health care, but great oral health care. A lot of times people come to North Point and the mental perception is, well, this is a clinic for poor people. Or this is a clinic, you know, they're just trying to do what they can for the community. And then when they come in that back doorway, and I've had patients that go to dental clinics in Edina, go to dental clinics in Mendota Heights, and they come in the back and they say, man, your clinic better than mine. That's the one thing that I also am grateful for, to have up-to-date, top-notch equipment to provide the care that is needed. So that way, mentally, when you come into the atmosphere, you want to feel like you're in a place that is equipped to properly treat you. If you come in there and they got them shag rugs that your grandmama used to have and they got plastic on all the furniture, you already questioning, like, do they know what they're doing? But when you come into an environment and you see that they have the equipment that you need, and at the same time they greet you in a warm manner, no matter what your cultural background, your ethnic background is, they meet you in a manner that's appropriate for your culture, you feel warm and receptive, and you're more likely to pursue the treatment options that are given to you. We will meet you where you are at. And that's the biggest thing a lot of times that I enjoy being able to do, is meet someone where they at. And truly meet them there. I've had people that I had talked to in the parking lot because they didn't want to come in the dental office. They was nervous. But you have to build rapport to gain respect. A lot of times as professionals, where I feel we fall short of the glory is, a lot of people believe because you have something in front of your name, or you have some letters behind your name, people should give you respect. My grandmother and my mother and them, they didn't raise me like that. They raised me to the point that you build rapport to people, and then they'll respect you and trust you and follow the information you're giving to them.
African Americans brought to this country, and descendants of slaves, that we have become separated from the land when we were the ones that worked the land. And so it's really about maintaining the traditions is every bit as important. Our young people are watching us. When I first started this work 10 years ago, 2010 rather, 7 years ago, there were some folks who told me, urban youth, and we all know that's code for black, urban youth don't want to work in the dirt. And my response to them was, well, even if that's true, which I don't believe it, that's not an indictment of our young people. That's an indictment of each and every one of us in this room as elders, that we have not maintained that tradition. A person who, those kind of life skills that they can carry forth throughout their life, that it's incumbent on us as elders, as men and women in this community. It doesn't really matter what you grow in that yard, brother. What you're doing is you are a bridge from the past to the future.
So first I want to acknowledge that most communities, specifically the African American community, has done traditionally, historically, a high level of mental health and emotional health. And what that looked like was your grandmother with her friends talking around and your dad with his homeboy. So we have a good basis of how to get through problems and struggles that we have somehow lost. So as an African American community, I think we've lost engagement with each other and connectedness and that sense of family and support. So then everybody feels like, oh, I'm the solo dolo, I'm right by myself. And so we're not teaching each other that it's okay not to be okay. I think it's really about what Dr. Brooks was talking about. Like, you have to be able to connect with people and let them know that, you know, it's not like I'm this doctor and I can tell you what's going on in your head. I mean, a really big part of making therapy work is for me to unleash the problem solver in you, for me to unleash the genuine genius that you have inside of you, for you to walk through the process. And I'm just like there walking with you, but I'm not actually solving any problems. Like if you go to a therapist and they tell you how to run your life, that's really not therapy. You know what I mean? Like the real sense of therapy, every time, like at Kente, what we really want to do is unleash the genius in you and to make sure that even when we're gone, you have an ability to function in life without us. And so we don't want to build dependability. We want to really help you get some executive function of like, this is my trigger, this is what I know, this is what I know how to do, you know, walk you through some strategies that you already probably have inside of you, but to make it comfortable for you to start using them and less taboo. Does that make sense? And we see it a lot. I have clients that I do in-home with, and it's mainly families, and the dads are usually the last to get on board. But I started off at the gate like, sir, come on in, because your opinion is just as valued, and I think that is something that we have to say to African American men in general. Your opinion and presence is valued. We can't do anything without you. You have an opinion, I need to hear it. And I think that we don't do that enough. Sometimes we go straight to the mama runs stuff around the house, and I don't do that. I try to make it as equal as possible. If you're living in the house, that means you know what's going on and you have a perspective and something to offer. And then in terms of pride, I just want to let you know that women have the same problem. Black women have the same problem of pride. I don't need you to help me, I got through it, I've been strong my whole life. I'm a strong black woman, I don't need nobody. You know, Beyonce it up. But no person is an island. This is real stuff. And in order for you to survive life, you have to have a support system and be able to bounce ideas, good and bad, off of people.
If you look out this window, you'll see right there next in front of you, you'll see a bunch of trees there. Today, folks may not know this, but today is Earth Day. And so in honor of Earth Day, yesterday we planted those 30 trees that are there. And they are, the Dutch elm, or not the ash borer is coming to town. And so there's 22 trees on this campus that are ash trees. And so in preparation for that, we planted these trees to replace that. So remember that all of us are a bridge to the future.
I just would like to encourage you, if you know anyone that's pregnant, please be supportive of them. And the thing is, if you know someone who will be becoming pregnant, one of the things is that 54% of pregnancies are unplanned. So sometimes we don't start taking care of ourselves until after we're pregnant. And I would like to encourage you to start taking care of your health, taking care of your whole body, because that's what this is about, healthy families, taking care of yourself prior to getting pregnant. Eat right, eat healthy. You know, we talked about how that impacts oral health and how it impacts your whole life, not taking care of yourself. So make sure that you're preparing yourself. If you're a young person and you're going to have a family, start taking care of yourself, because if you take care of yourself now, your outcomes will be better.
About small tidbits on what good oral hygiene is. You should brush twice a day. If you only can brush once, it's more important to brush before you go to sleep than it is to do when you get up in the morning. A lot of people brush their teeth in the morning. I remember as a young child hearing people say, get that hawk off your breath before you go to school, boy. Don't go to school like that. But it's more important to brush your teeth before you go to bed at night, because this says you go down and rest, your defense mechanisms in your body go to rest as well. Number 2, you need to floss. When you brush your teeth, you only cleaning 65% of your teeth. For those of us that are recently graduates of school, we know that 65% is not going to get you a degree in no area. So why would you do that to your mouth? If you say you maintain it and you want to care about it, it is important to floss. I recommend using hand dexterity as long as you can. Them little pick things, they look cool, but they don't really do nothing but jam up your gums and cause you problems later on. So if you can actually wrap floss around your middle fingers and use your index fingers and your thumbs to make a nice wrap and gently glide up and down against that tooth, removing that buildup that is on the tooth surface and not in your gums, you'll be more successful.
Let's start normalizing the language that we use about mental health and emotional health. I think it is sometimes a disservice to us when we're like, oh, she's just crazy or oh, whatever. All of us, from the happiest person that has the most amount of money to the person that's on the street with a sign, need someone else to help them focus their mind and to become the best them that they could be. And that really is what having good emotional and mental health is. It's being able to access your highest level of potential and your highest level of success that any successful person that you talk to literally will tell you that having good mental health and emotional management is really what it's all about. And that's from making really sound decisions and being able to not let others' behaviors or what they say or their emotions dictate or alter your emotions. And really that's the takeaway that I want you guys to get from. It's okay to compliment people. It's okay to help a stranger. It's okay to smile. A smile goes a very long way. Like, who wants to say good morning to somebody that's like, I mean, if you're going to tell me good morning, I want it top notch. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And it takes those small things will become significant if we all could engage with each other a little bit more and really, really, really try to be more positive as a person. That's a reflective thing. We have to look at ourselves and really realize our shortcomings, own it, and move on from it. So if you guys have any questions, I'm open to staying a little bit after to talk.
I was really glad when Clarence invited us to be a part of this, because this, not only just today, but this whole kind of year-long campaign of healthy hearts, healthy families, healthy communities. Did I get that right? Because it's an issue that's really important to Matter. It's a lot of what we focus on, but it's also really important to me personally. Heart issues have kind of run through my family's history. My grandpa died of heart issues. Both my uncles died of heart issues. My brother had open heart surgery. So it's something that's really personal and being. So at Matter, we really, kind of everything that we do because we really believe in this world where every single person can live a full and healthy life. And it's a belief that influences everything that we do. In order to do that, in order to turn that dream into reality, what we do is we focus on removing barriers to a healthy life. And we do that here in our community, and we do that around the world. Right here in our community, a lot of those barriers, especially when it comes to heart issues, can be focused to a person's diet and lifestyle. And so that's really what this Matter box is all about. It's kind of a healthy eating starter box that's designed to kind of take these ambiguous concepts of healthy eating and bring them to life, to give people an actual tangible example of what it can mean to eat healthy. And it can break down a lot of barriers that people have in their minds when it comes down to eating healthy. I think a lot of barriers in my mind initially when we started this were, one, healthy eating only means a farmer's market. And so because I don't have a farmer's market close to me, that means I can't eat healthy. Or another barrier might be it doesn't taste good, or it's too expensive, or I don't have the skill level to be able to do this. And so the box just kind of breaks it down to really, really easy, simple steps that shows people that this is actually possible. That it's possible to do this in an affordable way, in a way that tastes good, in a way that's easy and convenient and fast, and in a way that lasts. And so that's really what the box is about. It's about removing those barriers and giving people kind of a first experience and a starting point to this. So, without any further ado, let's turn it over to the cooking demonstration right over here. There we go.
I got some assistants to help me, and they're going to go wash their hands because it's their first step in learning how to play with healthy foods. Pretty much what I used to make what we sampled today was Italian-style rice. And in this box, it comes a box of like brown rice, Miss McKenwa, and a bunch of things. And they also have tomato, diced tomatoes and stuff. I don't want to burn yourself, right? Nice, look at that. Go ahead, put more in there.
Quinoa, you want to make sure that the water that you use for it isn't higher than an inch above the quinoa itself. You let it cook, and then what you want to do is keep testing it for the consistency, the softness, and just let it boil down. With the lid or?
Hey.